Landslide victory for Trinamool as they defeat BJP in a fierce Bengal battle. Suvendu wins Nandigram, Mamata cries foul, says she will approach Supreme Court. Sonowal and Mamata duo power BJP to victory in Assam as the party retains key state. DMK back in Tamil Nadu after 10 years. Stalin set to take oath as the next chief minister. Pinarayi Vijayan breaks 40-year record to secure a second term for LDF in Kerala. And NDA breaches the South, wins Union Territory of Puducherry in alliance with AINRC.
Hello and welcome. I am Aishwarya Kapoor and you are watching 9 PM with us. Today, when we come to you, it's a very peculiar situation in the state of West Bengal. Results are out for more or less all the states, all the constituencies. But what's happening in West Bengal is that Mamata Banerjee has lost rhythm in Nandigram, but TMC has been victorious.
Yes, absolutely, Aishwarya. And the large picture viewers, welcome to Republic TV. What an election it's been. Electrifying as the Battle of Bengal goes in favor of TMC, as Aishwarya said. Even in Kerala and Tamil Nadu, we see the regional parties have come out very triumphant. Let's give you first the election 2021 takeaways and then we debate.
The one clear winner in the 2021 election battle has been Mamata Banerjee. She had put everything at stake to fight the BJP in West Bengal.
Salute to my motherland, salute to my all the people from Bengal and all the people from all over the country. Now, Bengal saved the country. I am proud to say that Bengal saved the country.
Her campaign, led by election strategist Prashant Kishore, has ensured that BJP was restricted well within the two-digit limit as against the set target of 200.
I must repeat it because I said that if BJP were to cross 100, I will quit this space. And a lot of people said, you know, whether you will really walk the talk. Let me tell you, take this opportunity to tell you and your viewers that I'm quitting this space even though BJP has not crossed 100.
So while Mamata Banerjee has lost Nandigram, she has still scored a double century in the state, setting the stage for her third term. And the BJP has chosen to concede defeat and prove themselves as a formidable opposition.
আমরা বিরোধী হিসাবে ভূমিকা পালন করে আগামী ইলেকশনে জেতার জন্য এখন থেকে প্রস্তুতি শুরু করব। মানুষ সংকেত দিয়েছিলেন লোকসভাতে।
The Bengal lesson is not the only one. There are national lessons that can be taken from these state elections. The Satraps have once again proven themselves to be a force to reckon with in national politics.
We will touch 180. I am confident. We will see. It is going to be the counting will go on up to midnight, I think. We will reach 180 and we will be comfortably placed.
The left has broken a 40-year record to secure a second consecutive term in Kerala to save itself from extinction.
രാഷ്ട്രീയ ചരിത്രം തിരുത്തി കേരളം വീണ്ടും ഇടതുപക്ഷ ജനാധിപത്യ മുന്നണിക്ക് അനുകൂലമായി വിധി എഴുതിയിരിക്കുകയാണ്. ഈ സന്തോഷമാണ് ഇന്ന് പൊതുവെ പങ്കുവെക്കാനുള്ളത്.
But all is not lost for the BJP because they have retained Assam, continuing their hold in the northeastern state.
2016 साल से 2014 से जो मोदी जी उत्तर पूर्व को देश का विकास का एक ग्रोथ इंजन बनाने के लिए काम करते रहा, इसको आज और एक जनता से एक बहुत बड़ा सपोर्ट मिला। जनता ने हम लोग को आशीर्वाद दिया कि आप लोग विकास का राजनीति कीजिए, हम लोग को विकास चाहिए।
And in Puducherry as well, the NDA alliance has won. But Congress has emerged the biggest loser once again, routed in all states where Rahul Gandhi had actively campaigned. And the 2021 elections have truly turned out to be the test for national parties 3 years before the next general elections. Let's debate.
And we have with us the complete panel. We have with us Ratan Sharda, Rhythm. We have with us Suparno Moitra, PK Basu. The others are joining in. Rhythm, if I ask Ratan Sharda first. Ratan Sharda ji, the way things have panned out, BJP from 3 to 80 plus, there is a long distance BJP has travelled, but still nowhere close to Mamata Banerjee. Nowhere closer.
See, if you look at the results, the difference between BJP and TMC is nearly 10%. It's not a small difference. And the difference comes from highly consolidated, polarized voting from the minority-dominated constituencies, which is very clear. It is not a communist statement at all, because that is the way this Bengal election has been fought. Maybe the overhyping of the Hindu society has not done the right work, but more seriously, I think the urban voters have not got into BJP fold. This is one failure that should rankle BJP, because though BJP is supposed to be a middle class party for the middle class, that middle class, the Bhadralok in Bengal, have not gone for BJP. That is where it has lost. Otherwise, it would have scored a majority, no doubt. My serious problem, which I talked in the morning also, here is a very reasonable man, Mr. Moitra, that if Mamata Banerjee wants to project herself as a national leader, she must control her cadre. The violence that has started against its opponents is something that is going to hurt her aspirations and ambitions to be seen as the alternative opposition leader that is out to fight against Modi, because a highly regional inside and outside kind of dialogue and this approach of being vengeful with the opposition is not going to help her gain the national sympathy at all. So unless Mamata is serious about going national, she can work like this. If she's serious about national approach, then she must see to it that skater drawback don't get into vengeful acts. In the afternoon, I had given compliments to TMC, and when there was some roadside shows, I had said the workers on the road cannot be controlled every time by the senior leaders. So they have gone to celebrate. That's not a big issue. Let's not crib about it. But we should be careful about the violence. And that has begun. That is something which really surprises and really hurts me a lot, and it will hurt TMC a lot. That is one thing. Secondly, this election is not just about West Bengal. We must not keep on harping on West Bengal, where BJP has come from behind and replaced every other political party. No other state has seen just two parties fighting. Only two parties. One seat has gone to a Muslim party. Every other party has been totally wiped out. To look at the percentage, they have been drowned. But look at BJP's performance in Tamil Nadu. It has done wonder for itself in Puducherry and also for its partner in Tamil Nadu, where ADMK has not faced the whitewash. And Assam, where it has proven itself against a very, very dangerous situation where it projected C and NRC, which is a huge, complicated issue which nobody dare touch, despite that they have won. So we must also look at all these issues.
They have to. And Ratan Sharda, I want to go here to Suparno Moitra of the TMC. Suparno Moitra, as we congratulate you, this has been a big victory, and it's for the third time that the TMC has been able to do this. But the way it's been done celebrates our democracy. It's a huge, huge victory, and we do say that, as I said, it's celebrating our democracy. I want to raise 2 points here. Something did go amiss with how the BJP was campaigning, because when it comes to Bengal, they possibly needed a local face. It was said by several times the TMC, they didn't have anyone with a regional knowledge of the language. They didn't have a chief ministerial candidate. There was no one who understood the issues. Did this work against them? But also importantly, I want to even today ask you, Suparno, the EC has declared Suvedu as the winner in Nandigram. Interestingly, even as this victory is huge and swept by the TMC, Mamata Banerjee is saying, I will go to the Supreme Court in the EC against the Nandigram victory. Why cry over one thing when you've already got the whole state support, Shubarno?
Very good evening to you, Ridhimji, and good evening to all my respected fellow panelists and Aishwarya ji as well.
Yeah.
Now,
Right, sir.
Now, with regard to the first point, thank you very much. And I think celebration is not in our minds because the backdrop of the country, as far as the health crisis is concerned, does not allow anyone in this country the leverage to celebrate anything. We can only celebrate when we have unitedly defeat COVID. So that should be the priority of the topmost priority of all of us. One, elections will come and elections will go, and that is also a compulsion in a democracy which cannot be done away with. So we had to go through that. That's point number one. Point number two, with regard to the Nandigram issue, the core committee of the party, they are of the opinion that they find something amiss, and that is why they will explore options to seek a redressal of the same, Ridhimji.
Right, sir. So what has happened in Bengal is something that Mamata Banerjee has given a befitting reply. There is no doubt about it. As I speak to you, sir, I have with me Hemanta Biswa Sarma and Sambit Patra. Welcome into the debate. I'm just going to come to you, me and Rhythm. We are first going to Hemanta Biswa Sarma. Hemanta da, Assam is to BJP. Assam is to BJP. As the headlines of a national daily says, now it's up to the BJP to decide who leads Assam, Hemanta da.
I think that question you should not ask me, because that is a prerogative of the parliamentary board. Hello.
Right, Hemanta da. But Rhythm, yeah, as we speak to Hemanta da today, Hemanta da, the way BJP has proven consecutively that NRC issue, Rhythm, was really creating trouble for the BJP as it was being perceived. The Congress was saying that NRC and the kind of comments which are being made by you specifically, Congress made it an issue. That because of the comments made by Hemanta Biswa Sarma, BJP is going to lose. But the results have completely proven that Congress is just not there anymore.
I think outside the wall has misunderstood what NRC is mean for the Assamese people. It is regarding our identity. It is regarding our future. So in Assam, if somebody talk about positively of NRC, he will get vote. Congress started talking negatively about NRC and they lost.
Okay.
I think they have just failed to read the minds of the people, because people in Assam want a proper and correct NRC for our identity, for our future generation.
Yes, and as we congratulate you, Hemanta da, the question that everyone is asking, who is going to be the next Chief Minister of Assam? We all know the kind of effort you've put in today, the kind of effort that's gone into this elections has a lot of contribution with the kind of work you've done. Who's going to be the Chief Minister, sir?
Home Minister Amit Shah has given interview to many national channel, and he was very categoric, saying that post-election Central Parliamentary Board will decide who will Chief Minister of Assam. I think now that call will be taken and we will come to know who will be the Chief Minister of Assam very soon.
Hemanta da, you've gone to the people and we've seen those rallies of yours sitting on the top of that SUV, riding the bicycle. किसी लड़के के हाथ में गले में आपने हाथ डाल के बात किया, मतलब you have connected with the people of Assam like they have never seen before. What do you feel? What were the issues, Hemanta da, really for the first time? What were the issues for the people of Assam? Because it is being said that Congress said that whatever BJP did in the last 5 years, they never connected with the people. That was the counter against you.
Now, first of all, election campaign was a pilgrimage for me. I have never thought that a politician can be shown so much love and affection. So I am really and eternally grateful to the people of Assam that kind of affection they have shown me to the BJP's Karyakartas during the time of the election. But as you know, that Assam politics revolve around two pillars. One is about politics of development, other is about politics of identity. We have to ensure that our economic life, our economic activities goes up, people of Assam gets a better state to live. But at the same time, for us, our identity is also very important. We have to protect our identity. So in Assam, obviously at the macro level, we have to work for the politics of identity and for the politics of development. I think that is the immediate things we have to do.
Yes. And Hemanta, I also want to ask you, what will the priority be? I remember after coming to power in 2016, the government had said sealing the borders for infiltration will be the top priority of the government. What is going to be the top priority for the BJP in this term?
First of all, as you know, we have to immediately tackle the COVID situation. Fortunately, we are in a much better position. We have surplus oxygen as of now. We have a better infrastructure. We have to immediately start our working. We have to start doing things so that COVID-19 can be combated immediately. On a long-term basis, we have last 5 years, we have secured our international border. Now we are not having infiltration to the extent earlier we had. But yes, we have to identify those who have come illegally to Assam and through a proper NRC mandated by the Supreme Court. We have to correct those things which we consider wrong for our society. But at the same time, apart from this, we have to ensure whole lot of development. Prime Minister Modi wants Northeast to be a new engine of growth for this country. So we have to develop our region in a manner that we no longer dependent on the central government, or we are no longer dependent on economically on the rest of India. Rather, we start contributing for the development of this great nation.
Hemanta, just one last question and a short one. And please, not the parliamentary board answer, Hemanta.
Yes.
The opposition all throughout, when they had nothing to attack BJP, you and the Chief Minister with, they said that Hemanta and the Chief Minister are fighting. We had from Mr. Gogoi to everyone, even the central leaders saying Assam BJP will lose. Why? Because the top two leaders are fighting. Even before the result, the day voting happened, Congress moved their MLAs to Rajasthan, saying that, Congress wants to keep their MLAs safe because Congress is being victorious because BJP is fighting. So would you want to answer those people, Hemanta?
Yes. First of all, you know, I am Minister of Assam government since 2001. And I am now MLA for the 5th term. But yet, during the 5 years, I have always respected the institution of Chief Minister. Both me and CM has worked as a team under his leadership, and we have delivered, and there is not a friction of conflict between us. People of Assam greatly appreciated, and people of Assam has voted for us because we have delivered delivered good governance. So far as Congress is concerned, I don't know, I have never heard that sometime I know that MLAs are taken into safe custody, but I have never heard
that candidates are taken into safe custody. Some people has gone to Rajasthan who lost today by a margin of 1 lakh vote. Somebody has been taken to the resort who have lost today by margin of not less than 90,000 votes. I think this is the new Congress culture, and I have to research more that how candidates can be taken to some resort. We know that sometimes MLAs are taken to resort. So this is a new things. I have not learned that in Congress when I was there in for last 22 years. This is a new invention, and let me research it and then I'll come back to you.
Absolutely. Mamata, huge congratulations, big victory in Assam. Looking forward to the future developments in the next few days. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
As we go back to the debate, let me tell you viewers, we're joined by Dr. Shobhit Patra, Dr. Sharda, Professor P.K. Basu, Suparna Moitra, Mohammad Fakhruddin Ali and Vikraman. Aishwarya, will go to Dr. Shobhit Patra and Suparna Moitra here to see the most hotly contested Battle of Bengal first. Dr. Shobhit Patra, what went wrong? Is it the outsiders theory? Is it the fact that you didn't have a regional face? Of course, the BJP comes out being the most formidable opposition in Bengal, but the promises that were made, what happened? Did the narrative fail? Is it that Mamata Banerjee was too strong? What do you think is the reason today for Mamata Banerjee's victory?
Rhythm and Aishwarya, I would say that as far as this whole issue of Bengal is concerned, it depends on how you visualize the results. If you visualize the results as to how BJP's journey has been, what is the sojourn of BJP, I mean, then of course it's not a defeat, it would be a victory for BJP, because remember in 2011 assembly elections, we had 0 seats, we had only 4% of vote share then. And traveling thereafter in 2016, we just had 3 seats and 10% of vote share. From there to almost 80 seats, I believe it's a big feat. And by that way, we can say it has been a successful endeavor. But well, yes, seeing by the periscope where we had promised that probably we'll form the government, of course, it is still in wanting. But the larger picture over here is, let me be very pragmatic, let me be quite open. What went wrong? I believe Bharatiya Janata Party contests every election with the motto that Sabka Saath, Sabka Vishwas, Sabka Vikas is what we really want. We don't want to divide the society. But remember, when these elections started, the Trinamool Congress and many of its leaders came up with the acronym 70 plus 30. It's an election of 70% and 30%. To the extent that some of these leaders of TMC also said that, well, look, if the 30% come together, we will have 3 to 4 Pakistans. Today, I would be quite firm in saying, but very sad, that the 30% that the Trinamool Congress was speaking about, they consolidated completely, they came together completely, while the 70% that the Trinamool was speaking about probably still remains fragmented, did not consolidate. And that's the reason as to why we are seeing the kind of result that we are seeing. But I don't ascribe any of these 70 and 30 to any religious group. People are intelligent. They can understand.
Suparna.
Aishwarya ji, Dr. Patra, I am told, was very, very studious during his student days. And I'm sure he continues to be so, because a person like him is not going to deviate from his natural instincts. I believe that. I believe that, one. But the great thing about India, which is reflected through Dr. Shobhit Patra, is the positivity that we always believe in. Barring the positivity as far as the corona is concerned, which we strongly detest. Otherwise, India has survived for thousands of years because it has always been very, very positive, and it could find out and pick up those small pebbles out of depressing conditions to satisfy themselves, to say that why possibly they should be happy even if the conditions are melancholy and depressing. So both Dr. Patra and I and all of us are Indians, so we all share that quality, and how can Dr. Patra be different from that? However, as the second part of Dr. Patra's observations are concerned, I am sure Dr. Patra has worked so very hard to campaign extensively for the Bharatiya Janata Party. So he needs to revisit his notes for some time, which possibly has gathered dust for some time, which possibly he'll get some break from tomorrow onwards, and maybe he will come out with some neo theories and we could debate at that time. But it's always a pleasure to debate with Dr. Patra, I can say that.
PK Basu. PK Basu. Mr. PK Basu.
Yeah.
Mr. PK Basu.
Yes.
So you wanted to come in, right?
Yes.
Yeah, please, sir, please go ahead.
Yeah, happy to come in. Well, I think it's important to understand that this election was, we had elections in 4 states and 1 union territory. BJP has won a resounding victory in Assam. It has won a narrow victory with its coalition partners in Puducherry. And it has lost in West Bengal. And it's important to understand that it is a clear loss, even if they've gone from 3 seats in 2016 to perhaps 77 now. The important thing is that BJP did better in the Lok Sabha election in West Bengal 2 years ago than it has done this time. And if you look at the pattern, the BJP has done very well in North Bengal. It has essentially almost a complete monopoly of the North Bengal seats. But in the rest of Bengal, there has been a significant setback, I would say, in this election. And so I think the BJP needs to introspect and figure out what went wrong. I think there was a lack of coordination between the defectors from Trinamool and other parties and the core cadre of the BJP, and I think that...
No, Mr. PK Basu, let me tell you. Before Mr. Ratan Sharda says something, let me tell you ground reality. Rhythm, just let me tell you one thing, Mr. PK Basu, and BJP, Sambit Patra is right here. There was a big jigsaw. There was a big jigsaw, and this is a reality which BJP has to accept. When these bigwigs, and one of the bigwigs, Suvendu Adhikari, has defeated Mamata Banerjee, even in this scenario, when you are only 80 plus. But there was a feeling within the cadre that these people who are coming in, Ratan Sharda ji, you have to accept this, that these TMC leaders, these bigwigs of the TMC, when they are joining in the BJP, the cadre has been working against them for the last 15, 14, 16 years. So now when they came in, they had their own modus operandi to achieve the same target. The BJP cadre was working according to a system. But then when these people came in, and that's when Mr. PK Basu spoke about the coordination, rather than the coordination, there was miscoordination. When the new guys came in, they wanted their way on the highway. And the cadre was, sir, when your top leaders went down there, all of them came together because there is a fear. There is a fear. Everyone comes under principal ke niche sab shant ho jata hai. Under the principal, every student stands in a line. But when the top leaders were not there, the ground reality was, otherwise you would have done better than this, Mr. Sharda. The BJP would have done better, sir.
Though this is the point that Mr. Sambit Patra is right person to respond.
Okay, now there was another factor. There is another factor. If I may conclude, there was another factor in West Bengal, that is the complete decimation of the Congress as well as the left. If you look at it, Congress and the left together ruled Bengal uninterruptedly from 1947 to 2011. They have got 0 seats. Congress and the left, CPIM and the entire left front, have got 0 seats in this election. So the fact that those two parties were completely wiped out was perhaps a partly strategic decision on their part to basically hand their entire vote share to Trinamool, and that has helped Trinamool for sure. But from a national standpoint, the complete decimation of Congress. Congress, after all, the Congress leader in the Lok Sabha is Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, who has never lost in Jungipur. I mean, he's now, even in his Jungipur bailiwick, they were completely wiped out. They were wiped out in Malda, which is the Ghani Khan Chaudhary bailiwick. Raiganj, which was Deepa Dashmunshi and Priyaranjan Dashmunshi's bailiwick. They've been utterly wiped out. So this is remarkable the CPIM, which used to be thought of as a Bengali party, is completely zero in Bengal. So this is an earthquake. BJP is now the only opposition party in West Bengal, and the challenge for the BJP is to expand its base and to bring in the additional 5 to 10% votes that can get it to victory the next time around. But the point is that the decimation of Congress nationally is, I think, a big event, an earthquake.
Big event, that's something we need to see here, because Ratan Sharda making a point exactly at what you've said here. Yes, Ratan Sharda clearly zero seats in West Bengal, like Professor Basu is saying for the West Bengal, for Congress, and also the swimming and the photo op stage work in Kerala. Go ahead, Ratan Sharda.
What I said was that the difference between TMC and BJP was 10%, huge difference. But if you look at the voting of Congress and Communists, which are supposed to be nearly 50-16%, it has been transferred to TMC, or it has been cannibalized by TMC. And the entire Muslim parties, Owaisi percentage is 0.02%, and the other parties are nearly zero. All that Muslim vote bank has shifted to the TMC. So if these two transfers had not taken place, that's why I said overhyping of BJP's victory would have put all these votes into TMC basket, and that may be the reason. The talk of, indisciplined cadre, etc., I think totally just post-analysis, smart thinking. Cadre of the BJP works for any person who stands for the election. It may have grievance. It never allows its workers on the road to change their focus of getting victory. So this is just wishful thinking. It is wrong notion. Right notion is that votes have been transferred whole soul, and this 10% margin is coming out of that. Otherwise, TMC would have faced very rough weather. And my answer that Moitra has not given is the violence led to on BJP. Will they tell the leaders to stop this violence, because this is going to counter Mamata's effort to become national leader, and they must stop it, because Bengal has faced 50 years of violence since 1975 Congress times. This must stop, sir. You cannot make Bengal a barren land where nothing grows, neither human beings grow, nor industry grows or business grows. This will not happen, and you must agree to stop it. If you don't agree to that, you're a gentleman. I think TMC is going to suffer nationally. All that may have won the battle for now. After 5 years, it will be finished. And BJP is not a family party. It can wait for 5 years.
Yes. Yes. Shambhit Patra, I also want to ask you, let's also dip to the south. We also have Vikraman with us. Dr. Patra, clearly, even when we look at the south, the DMK comes out. There are no big names this election. There is no Jay Lalita. This is the first time election is being fought without the great legends, whether it was Kalaignar or Jay Lalita. It's been fought by the Crown Prince in the waiting, and Stalin seems to be all set to be the chief minister. What was happening within the AIADMK, which was getting an alliance with the BJP? In fact, at several times we even saw Udayanidhi taking direct jibes at the Prime Minister. It's clear this time around anti-incumbency seems to have worked against you. And also clearly I wanted to ask Vikraman, or also after you've spoken here, the same pictures also speaking in favor of the left, where oppositely for the left, where they have been able to tackle that there, and it worked against the Congress, Dr. Patra.
See, first and foremost, as far as Tamil Nadu is concerned, something which is known to everyone, both the parties, in fact, the AIADMK as well as the DMK, they were handicapped because of the losses of their own stalwart leaders. We did not have Amma this time, nor did we have Mr. Karunanidhi around this time. But there was a hierarchical line which was established in DMK, which I firmly believe was lacking in AIADMK. And Tamil Nadu and Dravidian politics has its own way of looking into individualistic politics, an extremely important part. So I believe that somehow came in the way of AIADMK. As far as BJP is concerned, well, look, we are looking for green pastures in South. The most important concerns as far as Kerala and Tamil Nadu is concerned was to find ground there and to expand our vote percentage, which we have successfully done. The interesting part as far as this whole thing to be connected in the national perspective is concerned is, Congress has terribly lost both in Tamil Nadu as well as in Kerala. In Tamil Nadu, the Congress did not do as well as it was supposed to do. And in Kerala, despite the fact that Rahul Gandhi comes from Wayanad as a member of parliament, they could not, in fact, secure a seat from Wayanad. So, in fact, in the larger run, what happens in the national perspective is, in come 2024, the fulcrum for the alliance stitching, supposedly all these alliance parties were to come together. The fulcrum is lost because the Congress used to be the fulcrum in the past. The fulcrum is not there. Will Mamata...
No, I'm stopping you right there, Mr. Sambit Patra. When you raise this point of these regional parties coming together, they have written a letter today. They have taken the issue of COVID. Ratan Shada, they have taken the issue of COVID. And right from Sonia Gandhi to Stalin to Mamata Banerjee to Uddhav Thackeray to Mayawati to Akhilesh, you name it and they are there. Sharad Pawar. 13 parties, Sambit Patra. So you read the indications, the timing of this letter. They could have written this 48 hours prior or 2 days prior, but they are writing it today. Timing is very important.
Congress fought the elections, addressed the rallies. Rahul Gandhi went all over making tamasha. And now we are not participant, nothing but pure hypocrisy of the highest order or the lowest order, what you want to call it. Because they participate in every possible way. This is to an embarrassment on TV and putting sour face and shouting. Because if they worried about COVID in the real sense, the way every other person is worrying, they would have boycotted the election if that is what they meant. But after fighting the election, running the rallies, doing every kind of campaign to come and, try to become a smart person when you have 0 seats in most of the states, is nothing but a laughable hypocrisy.
Shubirda, you wanted to come in?
Yeah, tell me. Yeah, I want to come in.
Shubirda, Bengal.
India would have been spared of the partition. Wait a minute. Congress, talking of Congress would have spared India the partition if Gandhi and the other top guns had allowed Subhash Bose to function as the Congress president. We all know what happened. Sonia Gandhi, if she wants to revive the Congress, Mamata is from their stable. She can actually take Mamata back into the party and make her, something very big in the party, rather than pursue this dynasty thing. Because Mamata Banerjee, with all her limitations, all her problems, she is somebody who has come from below.
With all your experience at your disposal, Shubirda, with all the experience at your disposal, you feel that is possible? There is even an iota of a chance of Sonia Gandhi doing it, Shubirda. Taking a leader as dynamic as Mamata Banerjee.
Wait.
Leader as dynamic as Mamata Banerjee, which will have half the leaders for breakfast, lunch and dinner of the Congress.
Aishwarya, Dada is being very nirmam to Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Vadra.
I am making a suggestion.
No, Dada, you are being very nirmam to Rahul and Priyanka.
No.
You want Sonia to take Mamata Banerjee and
let me finish.
Rahul and Priyanka.
Wait.
How nirmam? What happened to our dear Rahul Gandhi?
Listen to me. Pranab Mukherjee, Manmohan Singh has himself said, I was present when Pranab Mukherjee's book was launched, that Dada would have made a better prime minister than me. Congress paid the price. Congress paid the price of, pushing Subhash Bose out of the Congress.
Yes, they did.
All these big guns. Yeah, Michael Edwards, read the last years of British India. Gandhi's non-cooperation succeeded only once in driving Bose out of the Congress. Pranab Mukherjee, if they had made him Prime Minister, it wouldn't be such a bad show. Manmohanji, with all his expertise in finance, is not a gut-feeling politician. So, they paid the second time. Pranab Mukherjee was one man who could have been Prime Minister, but wasn't because it didn't click with the Gandhi family. Mamata, well, she belongs to this long tradition of Bengali Congress leaders, don't forget, who revolted against the High Command and came out. The Congress is in desperate shape. If they have to revive, they need some real surgery. Homeopathic medicine is not good enough for them. Yeah, it's not good enough to send Priyanka Gandhi with that, tea basket, pricking tea leaves in Assam. That nonsense is not going to work. Yeah, this optics is not going
making
to work.
these dips into the free ocean is also not going to get you wins an election.
Dada, but they will not leave their pasta. They will go for Machir Bhag and
Shubirda, Even making these dips into the free ocean is not going to win you. Is not going to win you elections. The Congress leaders need to understand. Rhythm.
A lot of seats here. I want to finish my point.
Yes.
I want to be given some time.
In fact, I
can't hear what he said. Too many people speaking.
Yes.
Okay, Vikraman, please go ahead.
Please go ahead.
Was contesting around 20 seats.
No, do you think I'm saying something very preposterous? I'm not saying something very preposterous.
Congress is winning 17 number of seats. 17 seats Congress is winning. So there is no change in the fulcrum. And even in 2024 also the alliance will be there with the Congress. Because, 2019 Tamil Nadu has given a major sweep.
It's been a tiresome
only because we have told the people that Mr. Rahul Gandhi will be the next Prime Minister. That is why people of Tamil Nadu have voted for the alliance.
That's great.
DMK
Let's
alliance.
party tonight.
So in 2024 also, DMK Congress alliance and this entire Rainbow Alliance
Congratulations to you, sir.
So there is no
Rahul
change
Gandhi
in
becoming the Prime Minister.
Any party who is going to be in alliance with BJP will face the fate of AIDMK just how it has faced now. So nobody will be daring to join an alliance with BJP. I'm damn sure about it.
Too cute, actually, I would say.
Okay,
just imagine.
We've established one thing, regional parties have done well, Dr. Patra. I just want to, there's a hand being raised by Mohammad Fakhruddin Ali also. I just want to ask him a question and I'm going to come back to Dr. Shaukat Patra. The key
2019, you should see the trend.
Takeaway that is actually coming, and I'll tell you from Kerala
in Tamil Nadu.
Also,
2019, see the change.
But I want to go towards a trend that's coming in from Kerala where the LDF scripts history, where the LDF, the UDF has defied the traditional trend, failed to become the leading alliance. And I wanted to ask Mohammad Fakhruddin Ali this. The Congress failed in Kerala. They in fact got galvanized, I believe, when the BJP tried to play spoiler at that time. Has not the Congress become now a footnote despite the odds being stacked against the LDF? In the left bastion, there had to be anti-incumbency. Historical trends were seen. No government has been re-elected, but for the last 4 decades, but yet the Congress failed to come back to power. What do we attribute this to, Mohammad Fakhruddin Ali?
History won't repeat itself always. See, in Kerala, in the last one and a half decades, the people of Kerala wish the incumbent to continue. In 2016, the infight in CPM spoiled the chances of V.S. Achuthanandan, then the Chief Minister of LDF at that time. Then later on, Ummanchandi came last time, but factionalism in Congress actually spoiled his chances. But this time, there was no factionalism in CPM or LDF, and a generation shift has been taken place in Kerala. The CPM government, the LDF government performed well during the COVID period, during the time of 2 floods, and the welfare scheme they introduced, and the new economic policy that they introduced as far as industries and the service sector is concerned. All these new policies and initiatives introduced by the left government actually attracted more section to the LDF. And moreover, Congress should know one thing. The generation shift has taken place, and Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi, the Gandhi family's showmanship or showwomanship is not going to work anywhere in Kerala, especially in a place like anywhere in India, especially in a place like Kerala. And one more thing in Kerala that you should especially take care of. It is about Patra's party. We are very much disappointed about BJP's performance in Kerala because we expected this time BJP will increase its seat share and vote share. But now BJP had 1 seat in Trivandrum, they lost it, and their performance was so dismal. This time the elite Christian community, which constitute about 70% of the state's population, they showed interest towards Narendra Modi's welfare schemes. And the Naya community is also showed more and more interest in BJP. The Irawa community, among the new generation, there is a seal about BJP, but they couldn't engage it because of the
feeling bad about
taking place in
but now even others are feeling bad about
which is taking place in BJP. Pardon?
I have understood. No. I was just angling it towards Mr. Sambit Patra. No, I was just angling it towards Mr. Sambit Patra. Mr. Sambit Patra, please answer Mr. Fakhruddin. He is feeling very sad about your party. Huh?
It would have been really good if it would have done a stellar show in Kerala or in Tamil Nadu. But as I said initially also, well, we are fighting to hold our grounds in Kerala, hold our grounds in Kerala and in Tamil Nadu. The only aim right now is to expand our vote share. We brought some of the best faces, including Dr. Sridharan. We brought some of the best people to the forefront. Alas, we could not make big, but I'm sure we are making our grounds, and in the coming elections, we'll do good there.
Right. I'm directly going to Shubhita. Shubhita, coming back to you. Bengal. Mamata Banerjee loses. One question I wanted to ask you. I'm skipping over to Bengal. Time is less. Shubhita, one question. BJP's numbers have come nowhere to the point that where they could make a difference. If BJP would have been at 130, 140, and with the same scenario, Mamata losing, then things would have been very interesting. Tab jaisa, as you said in Bengali, that the khel would have been continued. But now the game is over.
Well, the game is over as far as the elections are concerned and the formation of the government. But BJP has emerged as a strong opposition party. They have an agenda. They have to get their homework right. They have to become more, in Bengal, as they say, Jasmine Desh Jadachar. You have to be a Mohammedan in Egypt and a Roman in Rome. So, this Aryavarta politics will not work in Bengal. So they have to be sufficiently localized. But BJP has emerged as a strong party. Also, let me point you, as Sambit was saying, they took Sridharan and such interesting people in Kerala. In Bengal also, they brought some interesting people. Ashok Lairi, fantastic economist. General Subrata Shah. They would be ideal home minister, finance minister, that kind of thing. So they have brought some talent in Bengal as well. I hope they get elected. I've not been able to follow.
No, but this thought that the Bhadra Bengali never will come towards BJP, Shubhita. But this thought process was in the BJP. But Shubhita, this thought process was in the BJP that the Bhadra Bengali is never going to vote for the BJP. It is too close to the TMC that it is never going to come to the BJP. You feel that if BJP starts working now towards them, they can move or they can make a larger of a dent next time?
Well, let me tell you something. The BJP has already got an effective through their social engineering, very smart social engineering. They have got a basic good base. They have got a basic good base. They've got a basic good base amongst communities. Either the Rajbangshis, the Jharkhandi tribals, the Hindi-speaking people, the Gorkhas, and also some areas in the scheduled castes who are important. Well, they have to understand one thing, that as BJP grows into a national party and with the RSS around, they can't play around with this religious binary even in the national context. So they have to, Bengal is a wake-up call, that they have to go for some kind of inclusive nationalism which will actually stand them in good stead. And the important thing is, they have to get some good, solid local leaders, local faces. I mean, they have an organization in place. Actually, to be very fair, Mamata, all her plus points, she really does not have a regimented organization. It's a pretty loose kind of thing, which is why you see so much disgruntlement, people going away and that kind of stuff. So I won't write the BJP off completely. No, it's not in my nature.
Soumitra is listening to you very minutely. Soumitra is listening to you very minutely.
No, I'll answer both his points. Number one on the religion binary and number two on the local leader. Dada, let me answer now. Number two on the local leaders. Look, local leader, local satraps are always required, always welcome. It makes your party strong, no doubt about that. Remember, in Bengal, we have never been in power, not even in a municipality. So to develop a local leader and to make him famous Bengal-wide would be a tedious task. Remember, Mr. Yogi Adityanath also became a leader, known far and wide. Only once he became a chief minister. Remember, Devendra Fadnavis became a talented leader only when he became the chief minister of the state, and people realized, well, yes, he has the potential. Similar with Mr. Khattar and other chief ministers. In Bengal, had we formed the government this time, of course, we have a number of talented people. One of them would have become, a few of them would have become the local satraps, the ministers and the chief minister, and we would have had a good catch of them for the future politics in Bengal. But alas, we could not form the government. Now coming to the second part, that is the religious binary. I'm sorry, it is not about religious binary. It is about calling out appeasement. We might have even lost the election, but we will always continue to call out appeasement. CAA is not religious binary. To fight for CAA is something which is inherent right to the people who have faced atrocities across the border and who have crossed the border and settled here as Matuas or otherwise. And we really need to fight for their rights, remember. And of course, if Jai Shri Ram is being chanted in Bengal or anywhere, and the chief minister comes out and says, I will skin you live if you chant Jai Shri Ram, we have to stand with the rights of the people, stand with the cultural policy of this country. The cultural order of this country is something which is extremely important. So it's not religious binary. Rather, the TMC has played into religious binary. Just a second. Rather, the TMC has played into religious binary in the sense that because of appeasement, I still maintain, I'm being very pragmatic, I've been truthful. There has been a consolidation, a complete consolidation, I would say, and strategic voting, a tactical voting of 30% of vote in West Bengal. I am not ascribing this to any religion, but this has happened, while the 74% vote has not consolidated.
This is because of the NRC in
Shambit, yes. Shambita, I'm just stopping you. There is just some breaking information coming in as I speak, and our colleague is giving it to you. Shubhendu's cavalcade has been attacked. Shubhendu's cavalcade has been attacked, Rhythm. Shubhendu's cavalcade has been attacked. Shubhendu is reaching at the counting center. Shubhendu is reaching at the counting center to receive his certificate, and his cavalcade has been attacked. So this needs to stop, irrespective of who wins, who loses. Heavy security deployment has been done. Yes, Rhythm. Shubhendu's cavalcade has been attacked as he's arriving at the counting center.
Yes, yes, it's the news coming in, and that's something that we look at. This kind of violence should not happen. But gentlemen, as we're closing the debate, we're completely out of time. The larger picture also is regional parties have won. It's been a very hotly contested elections, and democracy has also won. Thank you for being with us on the debate. See you later. Thank you.